Perfectspiral.blogspot.com. I got the jersey on right now, so you know what that means. Hockey season is here, and it's time to give my 2 cents on who's going to do what this year. Starting the East, division winners: Atlantic Division, Pittsburgh; Northeast, Boston; Southeast, Washington. Those are pretty much no-brainers for division winners in my mind. The other playoff teams, the other five: Philadelphia. If Ray Emery can do his thing in goal, got Chris Pronger on defense, they should make the playoffs. Montreal, a lot of good additions there. If Carey Price can step his game up from last year, they'll be in. Rangers, Marion Gaborik gives them legit offensive firepower. Carolina, they've been there before. They know how to win. Cam Morton net, they always have a chance. And Ottawa, I believe in Ottawa this year. They got Jonathan Cheechoo, Milan Mihalik. They, on paper, should make it. I'm putting a little bit of faith in Ottawa just because they seem like this could be their year. Out west, switching gears, Central Division, Detroit. A lot of people are picking Chicago. I don't think they're there yet. I think Detroit is still the beast of the Central Division and of the Western Conference. Don't pick against them until someone knocks them off. Northwest, Calgary over Vancouver. In the Pacific, I got Anaheim over San Jose. So that leaves for the last five playoff teams. San Jose, I think they'll still get in, even though they won't win their division. Danny Heatley makes them better, I think, but the loss of Mihalik and Cheechoo, even though they had off years last year, I think that ultimately will come back to lower their regular season record. But maybe this will be the year they won't choke in the playoffs like every other year. Chicago, they definitely get in the playoffs. A lot of young talent. They proved it last year. I don't know if they can handle Detroit yet, so that's why I'm putting Detroit as Central Division winners. Columbus, Rick Nash and Steve Mason, two young players who are up and coming. I think they'll get in there for a second straight year and be a little more tested, even though they lost to Detroit last year. Vancouver, anytime you got the Sedin brothers and Roberto Luongo in goal, you got a chance to do some pretty impressive things. I think they'll be there in the playoffs. And the eighth team out of the West would be Dallas. Brad Richards has something to prove, and Mari Turco is decent in net, not great, but I think he can get into the playoffs. I don't see anyone else that can take their spot as the eighth playoff team in the West. And my Stanley Cup predictions, out of those 16 teams, out of the East, I want to say Pittsburgh, but I know it's harder to repeat. It's a lot harder to repeat than it is to win the first time. So is it Washington's year? If they get goaltending, if Simeon Varlamov can do his thing and go and grow up a little bit, I think Washington has a legit chance to be in the finals. Can they beat Pittsburgh? That's a big question. They're another year battle tested. All right, fine. I'll pick Washington. I'll go against my Pittsburgh bias. I'll pick Washington to go to the Stanley Cup Finals. And out of the West, who will Washington play? Everyone's picking Chicago. Chicago's the big fancy glamour pick. But I'm not about fancy glamour picks here. The Perfect Spiral. So I'll say, I want to say Chicago. Fine. I'll say Chicago. I'll say they'll beat San Jose. San Jose will win a couple playoff series to get to the Western Conference Finals. Chicago over San Jose to get to the Stanley Cup Finals. Oh, and I'll say Chicago beats Washington. You heard it here first. Chicago over Washington in the Stanley Cup Finals. Perfectspiral.blogspot.com.